Hello everyone. Welcome to my brand new Angular projects video series. As I mentioned in my earlier videos, my goal for this Angular development is to build real-world application using a single code base for desktop and mobile apps. I have already set up my development environment in such a way that a single code base can serve desktop and mobile apps for different platforms. In this video, I'm going to talk about Angular Material. So Angular Material is a framework given by Angular, and it's not a replacement for the Bootstrap, but it's very similar to the Bootstrap. It gives you a built-in environment um, which you can use to build your UI components easily. So in this tutorial, I'm going to use Angular Material to build a static website. And in the follow-up tutorials, I'm going to enhance this website and implement tools like Angular Universal and optimize this static website for search engine optimization. So without any further delay, I've already created a repository for this one. You can find all this instruction how to set up your Angular Material environment in this repository. And again, as I mentioned, I'm going to use this Angular Material setup to build static websites and later on desktop and mobile apps. So first, let's get started. So I assume you already have a Angular development environment set up, and if not, then you just follow this link and you'll be able to set up your Angular development environment. So let's quickly start building an Angular Material website. So first thing first, I want you to open your VS Code. Okay. And again, as I mentioned, I assume you already have an Angular development environment set up. But in case, okay. But anyway, so what I'm going to do, just quickly verify that Angular development environment is ready or not. So first thing, I want to check the node version, and then second, I want to check the this npm version. So both looks good in my machine. Next thing, I want to check the Angular CLI version, so ng-v. So this will tell me that I have an Angular CLI version installed on my machine. See. So next thing, I want to start with just follow this direction and you'll be fine. But I have documented all the steps with all the commands here. Okay. Now, let's create a new app. So I'm going to head out to my documents directory, and I'm going to quickly see what's inside that. There's only one folder inside that. Here I want to create a new app. So I will say, and you can use the Angular CLI to create your new apps, components, module, interfaces, services, etc. It's very user friendly. ng new, I'm going to call it my app. So what this command will do, it will create a new Angular development environment for your development. So let's quickly get into this one. So as you can see, ng new has just finished and it has created a new app on my local machine. So I'm going to quickly open the folder in VS Code. And as you can see, this has just created a my app directory on my documents. So I'm going to open this. So I'm going to open my command prompt window here, the terminal window. So now as you can see, I'm inside my project directory. So this is the brand new Angular app I just created. So using my terminal window, I will quickly get inside this. So ls, and you can say cd my app. Okay, and at this point, if I do the ng serve, I'm pretty sure it's going to open up my app into a browser. But before I do that, I want to quickly do some cleanup tasks. Again, these tasks are optional, but I highly recommend you doing that. So first thing is, like, as you can see, the favicon. So if I go inside the directory, what Angular does, it creates a favicon. That's a favorite icon, and by default it looks like this. So it's their logo. So first thing I want to do, I want to change that logo. And just to save you some time, I'm going to download this zip. Okay, loads. Okay, source. So as you can see, I have another favicon icon. I'm going to copy this over and head back to my app source directory, and as you can see, there is already a favicon over there. So I'm going to quickly replace this favicon. Okay, so now I've got a new favicon here. Okay. So there are a couple of other cleanup tasks I want to call them here. So first thing is, like, make sure that you have your new favicon. And I'm also, is usually a good practice to create a different directory and where you keep all your icons there. So the way I'm going to do it, under src there is a assets folder, and I'm going to create a new folder here called icons, and I'm going to copy this over here as well. Okay. So next thing, as you can see in your, go back to your code editor inside your index.html, as you can see, your favicon points to, it is suspecting the favicon.ico file in the same location, same folder where your index.html is. So to quickly fix that, I'm going to say where to find this icons, and you can find it here. Okay, so this is one very quick change I want to do. Okay, second thing I want to do is polyfill.json. Okay, so let me talk about what this polyfill.json file is. So this polyfill.ts file, it's so in case you are working with the older browser, that means, like, you are developing a mobile app or progressive app or website, and you want this website to be supported by some earlier versions like Internet Explorer 9, 8, those versions. So you can quickly come back here and you have to uncomment those things. So one thing quickly I want to show you. There are some, I'm going to use the web animations in near future. So I'm going to uncomment this. And the second thing is, okay, what else I can do here? Let's see. So I'm going to use IE10 and IE11, and I will be using SVG icons a lot. So I'm going to uncomment this as well. Okay, I'm going to save this file. At this point, if I do a ng serve, I'm pretty sure it's going to come back with error. And the reason will be because, I need to install these things first. Okay, then only you uncomment. So to make sure, I'm going to head out here. I'm going to install this npm install -save classlist.js, and if I open my package.json file here, so as you can see, there is no class list dependency here, but so what this command is going to do is going to install that class list dependency. So while we are waiting, there's one more thing we uncommented to support the web animations. So we have, so as you can see, these two changes what I made to my polyfill.ts, I installed both of this npm. So this package is webanimation.js, and the other one is the class list. I'm going to quickly head over to my package.json and make sure that these two are included. So as you can see, this one, web animations and classlist.js, these are the two dependencies I just added. I'm going to save this polyfill.ts. Okay, so at this point, let's head back to a couple of more cleanup tasks I want to do. Another is like update git ignore file. This is especially if you are using your git to keep all your source code. So I highly recommend updating this git ignore file. So things like, you have to make sure that when you are updating your Git repository, you do not want that node modules, or you do not want any temp files. So make sure to add those things here. Right now this file looks good to me, so no more changes are required. I'm going to leave this as is. One last cleanup task. I want to update my Angular CLI JSON. Okay, so let me show you quickly what I mean here. So Angular CLI JSON file here. There are a couple of things. So this is telling me that the root to my Angular app entry point is inside this src directory. And whenever I'm going to make a build, production build is going to be written into that DST file. So as you can see, output directory DST, you can change it whatever you want. I'm going to make it correction here, make it www. And favicon.ico, as you can see, because I already copied this over inside SS directory, I don't need this anymore. So I'm going to get rid of this. Okay. Okay, what else I can do here? Okay, this thing, prefix. So what this does, if I'm using Angular commands to build a new component or interfaces, so for example, if I do a ngg component, my component, what this going to do is going to append this to your selector. I can show this later to you, but right now what this does, so for example, I'm creating a new component called footer component. So this component selector will look like app-footer. So everything will be appended by this. Everything will be prefixed by these characters. So I don't want any prefix, so I'm just going to get rid of this one. I think that's pretty much it. So if I save this, this is basically all the basic cleanup task I wanted to do. Okay. So at this point, step 1 is completed. I can go back. If I do a ng serve, I should have a working Angular app at this point. So let me just quickly run an ng server and see what it does. Okay, as you can see, the development server is started, and it will be served on port 4200. So let's wait. Okay, so if I go in 4200, as I hope if everything is set up correctly, it should come back with this boilerplate code. And as you can see, my favicon is already updated here. So I have a working Angular app at this point. Now let's go back, and as I said, I will be using Angular materials for this development. So you have to install a couple of dependencies to support Angular material. It should be pretty quick. So I'm going to stop my development server here. Okay. And next thing is I'm going to install this in Angular material. So what this is going to do is going to install Angular material and Angular CDK. CDK is like component development kit. So the whole Angular material is, let me just quickly go to this one, material.angular.io. The whole Angular material is built in this CDK. So that's why CDK is like, component development kit. So suppose you want to design your own Angular material component, you could easily do that using the CDK package. So, and you can always find all these instructions here. If you go to their guides and getting this started, you will find all the instruction here. My instructions are no different. It's absolutely the same. The only I've made a couple of changes, and I'm just to fit into my development environment. So, so I'm going to wait until this is installed. But before I do that, I quickly want to go to this setup again. So okay guys, so I just finished installation Angular animations CDK, and just to save some time, I installed one more package. It's for Hammer.js, and if I go back to my installation instruction, As you can see, I already installed this step. So I'm finished with installing all the npm packages. Sorry, I skipped one step here, step number 3. So this step is like, it's just a matter of preference how you want to use your Angular material components. So if you are directly including your Angular material components, you can directly include inside your component.ts file, or you can always create a separate Angular material package or module, and you can include that module into your main module. So then you'll be able to use Angular material in any of your component. I prefer that approach, and I'm going to demonstrate that how to do that setup. So I'll come back to this step 3 in few minutes. So let's quickly get into this step one more. So suppose Angular comes with built-in themes. You can pick any of the themes you want, and all you need to do, go to your styles.css file, okay, and you just import this file here. So as you can see, if you go to Angular material pre-built themes, let me quickly show you what are the themes comes pre-packaged with Angular material. So as you can see, Angular material, and if I go to pre-built themes, so as you can see, there are 4 different themes. It comes with 4 different themes. You can always create your own theme, but for now I'm just going to go with one of these themes. Okay, so I'm going to quickly save this. Let's go back to my installation instruction. Okay, step number 5. So as I mentioned earlier, I already installed this Hammer.js, and this is actually just to support your gesture on your mobile app. So okay, next thing is, this is completely optional. If you want to use the material icons in your Google app, I highly recommend you using those things. Let me quickly show you what are those material icons are. So I believe if you Google it and you say Google material icon, material icons, so it's going to take you to that Google material website. Okay, so Google delivers you a lot of material icons, and these are very very most advanced, very good looking, very lightweight material icons. You can use any of those things in your code, so I highly recommend you adding those things. And I will be quickly showing you how to actually make use of Angular material components in my next video. So for now, I'm just going to quickly install it, and it comes in 2 different versions. One is this: you download the Google material icons from their website, and other approach is you can always create an SVG version. So for example, if you are developing an offline app like a desktop app, and it's where you have no internet connectivity, so in that case, I highly recommend you using the SVG version of it. But in both the cases, you will need this. So make sure you add this Google icon here. Sorry, I don't have the instruction. Let me just quickly go to the material.angular.io, get it started. So this is the link. So all you need to do, take this link, go to your index.html file, and just add this link here. Okay. So this is going to go to the Google API and download all the material icons from this website. So this was I was mentioning. So if you are working on offline app, you do not want to do that, because you will have no internet connectivity, and your app is going to look very ugly. Like it's not going to download those things. Okay. So I think that's pretty much it. At this point, you should have you have all the dependencies you need to build an Angular material, and now I think you're ready to use all the Angular material icons or Angular material components in your app. So in next app, I'm going to be building a real website.